Hello and welcome to Frank's School. Here's the end of the semester, 90 days. This is my 90th day this fourth year of teaching in Frank's School. And I'm going to take a pause of about a week before I go to 91. I didn't take much of a vacation over Christmas because I taught my way through it. So a few final things to say here about the subject I've most recently been on. What can you do? You know, if you've listened to what I've said about the trades, and Shirley often says that, yeah, but people can't do that. I mean, most people don't have a farm. They don't have a place. They don't have that kind of room. They can't do that. What can you do? Well, you can dream. You can collect things and get ready. You got to be careful. You got to be careful that you don't become what do you call them, a hoarder. You don't just collect. If you collect things, you need to reduce them to materials pretty fast. But you can get yourself ready. I collected things for 40 years or longer, my whole life, I think. Study, read, learn, make models. All right, so you can't actually build a blacksmith shop. You live in this tiny little apartment somewhere, and you can't build a blacksmith shop. Well, make a model of one. Or make a model of a world. You know, they have terrariums, I think they call them, where you have like under glass in like an old fish tank or something, all this tiny little stuff growing. I've never made one, but I had once thought that if I ever got slapped in jail, how could I not die of boredom? And you know, if I had a lump of clay and a little supply of water and maybe an eyedropper, maybe, that would probably be enough, because I could take that lump of clay and make a little miniature mountain out of it with terraces and let the water go down through. I may actually do that sometime, just have my own little pet world. Make models. Find and support craftsmen. Nowadays, I guess you can do it online. It doesn't really have to be local. You know, I think sometimes it takes a village. Clinton's wife said that, Hillary. It takes a village to raise a child, or something like that. There's a whole other way of thinking about it takes a village there, but anyway, the phrase is important. Anyway, find and support craftsmen. But let me think of in terms of local craftsmen, at least here. I have it took a while, but I just finally found a sawmill, a small sawmill, where you can go and buy a board. It costs, for an oak board, costs 45 cents a board foot. So what you think of, just imagine a board about that long, and they're about that wide and about as high as the ceiling. That's maybe, I don't know, $2 a board. But it's not planed or anything, and it's green, you know. But I was delighted because they're disappearing. But I found it. It took some doing. A sharpener. Find somebody there must be somebody around your area that will sharpen things. Scissors, if necessary. Instead of just throwing them out and getting a new pair, find somebody that sharpens things. All right, and so there are things to be done. You know, even if you can't, you know, do it on a bigger scale. But anyway, in here you can dact and enact. Dact and enact. Dact and enact. I created that word from decentralist action and inaction. Dact and inaction, my noun. How can you actually act or not act to decentralize? You see, last year, I was on a rant at about the same time, after having taught through the Decentralist Manifesto and a Wedge's Paradigm. At the end, I finally sort of let loose here. There may be more than one video where I do that. If you go back in there and you get curious, you can see, but it's specifically this one. And I will give you the link. Third year, 149th day, the second video. If you type that in there, I think you'll find it. And there you'll find me on a sort of a rant. Like I've been. I feel like I still am sort of on a rant, instead of just steadily going along teaching and learning as I'm teaching, and then teaching what I learned, which is a lot of what I'm going to be doing after my week's pause. But then I preached, and in a sense right here I have preached for about a week. All right, as I say, I'm going to make a pause of about a week. I need to get myself sort of reset. And then in the second semester, the three things that leap to mind are the main event, the biggest event. Well, at first, the longest event is going to be going through the history of Britain with Shyama's documentary and commenting on it as I go. Water, as the water begins to come out of the mountain again. And it's not just, oh, this is nice water. I've got so much to say about water. And Portugal. Shirley and Thomas and myself are going to be traveling to Portugal, Lisbon, and the center of Portugal, and to learn. And I'll share that trip with you, the preparation for it, the event itself, and maybe some after it's over. All right, see you in about a week. Bye for now.